this is Kylie with the Ag Center News, and today we are out here in the field at 4F Ranches with Michael Foglio. He is a fifth generational farming family, and we are kind of going to be talking about how they have strong roots here in the Central Valley, as well as what it takes to just run a family operation. So, Michael, first question for you I wanted to ask is, how did 4F Ranches start, as well as, I know it started with your grandfather, but can you elaborate on that a little bit?
So 4F actually started with my grandfather and his 3 sons, but prior to that, my great-grandfather bought this place in 1938. And we're actually on the home 80, and they had this 80 acres and a little dairy, and they milked cows and farmed and grew feed for the dairy.
I love it.
And then when my dad and his brothers got older, it became 4F, and it was my grandpa and his 3 sons that basically started 4F and kept 4F going.
Wow, I love it. So speaking on the dairy and starting your operation through the dairy industry, how did you guys kind of go into almonds, pistachios, wine grapes, raisin grapes, things like that?
So we had the dairy until 1987, and in 1987, the dairy business wasn't good, and we had already planted a couple orchards of almonds, and we already had some grapes. And so in 87, there was an opportunity to get out and be able to essentially make the dairy side of the business whole by getting out and not lose it all. And so they decided to get out in 1987. And then from then they started to develop more ground into almonds and grapes, and just kind of went from there.
Knowing that your dad and your uncles, it got passed down from your grandfather, how are like you and your cousins running this operation after kind of their legacy of them doing it?
So more recently than not, it's kind of my dad and his brother they're getting older, and so they don't want the responsibility of basically the day-to-day decisions. And so kind of I've taken over a lot of day-to-day decision making.
What does that mean to you, being that like you're the next generation of this family that's going to be running it, you know?
Honestly, it means a lot, and it kind of means everything. It's just continuing that legacy of, oh, Foglio, you guys have farmed here forever. Yeah, and it's just continuing that and hopefully continuing to grow the business.
So Michael, what does 4F Ranches mean?
So 4F stands for 4 Foglios, and that was being my grandpa and his 3 sons, Ronnie, Dino, and Martin.
So Michael, can you give us a little bit of background, you know, college, what inspired you to continue on the family farm?
Yeah, so after high school, I went to Fresno State. I got my degree in ag business, and my whole life I've always wanted to farm, and it's just been something that I've loved forever. And growing up around it and going to work with your dad all the time, and I mean, me and my sister and cousins, we got to work at a young age during the summer.
Yeah.
And so just background was my parents wanted me to go to school and get a degree to have essentially a backup plan if anything ever happened. So I did that and basically worked all through college on the farm, and as soon as I graduated, it was, okay, let's go to work.
Full force, yeah.
Yep.
And then kind of, is there any experiences or lessons you learned along the way, whether that be like in college or like currently leading up to now?
Being a farmer isn't your normal job that you have a time that you go to work and a time you go home. It's, you gotta get the job done. So it's like, there's no hours on farming, it's more jobs. And it's just something that was instilled into me from a very young age.
Michael, what is your day-to-day look like running this family operation? And I know you have your own operation as well. So what does that kind of look like?
So day-to-day starts with I meet my guys out back and get them going and get them off to whatever job they may be doing that day. And then I meet up with my dad and my uncle at my Noni's house, which is grandma. And we go there and we have a cup of coffee, and you know, salesmen, almond buyers, everybody stops in from time to time, and we'll have a conversation with them about just what's going on and kind of make a game plan for the day.
Yeah.
And then we split off, and some days it's driving tractor, some days it's fixing equipment, some days it's checking fields, but it's always a little something different. So it breaks up just the same, it's not the same thing every day, so it makes it a lot more fun.
So Michael, how do you kind of divide all the tasks running this farm between family members?
So as time's gone on and I've become a lot more involved and just gotten older, I take care of pretty much all the permanent crops, so the grapes and the trees, and make day-to-day decisions on those, and just make sure stuff's getting done in there. My dad oversees more of the row crop, so we grow wheat and corn for silage, some alfalfa, and so that's what he still loves doing that, so he takes care of that. And then my uncle, he mainly checks on the cows and keeps them going, and even though it's more of just a hobby, it's just what he loves. He also is, like I would say, in charge of all the service for the equipment and routine maintenance, and that's the kind of stuff he enjoys.
So another question spinning off of that, what kind of made you guys decide to go in specific varieties of crops? So almonds or, your raisin grapes?
So we planted the first almond orchard in 1980. So we've had almonds going on 45 years. And then for the Thompsons, it was kind of just, we bought ranches that had them on it, so we continued to farm them. And then as the almond market kind of went crazy, we started developing more and more almonds, and it just kind of has got us to where we are. To have my family so integrated into the operation is awesome. It's, sometimes it's hard because you are the most critical of those that you're the closest to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at the end of the day, there's nothing like it, because you can just bounce some idea that might be kind of dumb off of them, and you don't feel like they're gonna essentially make you feel dumb about it.
Right.
And who knows, it could turn out to be a great idea. So
Yeah.
it's just working with people that you're that close to is the best way to do it, in my opinion.
So Michael, being that this is a 5th generational farm, can you kind of explain where we're at today?
So right now we're at my house, and this is my wife's lovely flower farm that she's created. And so it's an interesting fact that people always laugh about is I've actually never moved. I grew up in this house, and as I got married, my parents moved on, and I still live in the same house. So I'm rooted in this farm for my whole life.
Has the economy affected your farm in any way?
In ways it has, I'm sure with every farmer. Thankfully, my family has always been more on the conservative side as far as economics go, and we've gotten ourselves in spots where we have most of our debt paid down, and we're able to self-finance the operation. So we're still able to farm how we should farm and not have to cut back on inputs. And obviously, with having a shorter run of ditch water this year and having to pump, that is a big hit to the bottom line, but we have put ourselves in situations that we're able to adapt for that and move on from it.
So being that your son and daughter are growing up here on the ranch, where do you envision them going, and any advice for them maybe 20 years down the road?
My hope and prayer is that they want to work alongside me on the farm like I have worked alongside my dad. That's kind of led me to start my own business and make that business grow so that I have that to give to them and I have more to pass down to them. Advice that I would give them is always keep God at the center of it all, because I don't know how you could be a farmer without having God at the center. And 2, don't ever be too good for a job, because the smallest job on the ranch is as important as the most important job. And the last thing is, don't ever let anybody outwork you. When you show up to work, work till the day's done, and don't let anybody outwork you. And that was instilled to me from a young age, and it's something that I still live by.
Wow, what a beautiful tour today of 4F Ranches. Thank you, Michael, for joining us. Tune in for more updates and in the field segments with the Ag Center News, and we'll see you soon.